Systems of equations, part 2. Yesterday, all the systems that we looked at were set up so that they would eliminate one of the variables, right? Today, they're not going to be quite as well set up. Okay? But they're still going to be pretty well set up. And the important skill we're going to focus on today is multiplying -1 times an expression or times an entire equation. So let's look at this problem. It says -1, this means times 2x plus 3. So how would we multiply -1 times 2x plus 3? What would we get?
You get -2x.
That's it?
And then you have to multiply the -1 by 3.
Which would be?
-3.
Yeah.
I mean, you get -1.
So we get -2x, and then instead of saying plus -3, I just said -3. Which is the same thing, right? I could have written -2x plus -3, but it's a little faster and simpler to just change the plus to a minus. So what if I have -1 times 3x plus 4y? What would we get?
You get -3x.
-1 times 3x is -3x.
-4y.
Yeah, minus 4y. Multiply this two. We notice kind of a pattern here. Maybe we don't have enough to notice a pattern.
No, I do.
Let's do another. Yeah? What is it?
When there's a -1, the first letter in the parentheses becomes a negative, and the addition sign becomes a subtracted.
Yeah, we're just making everything inside the parentheses negative. Right? Making all the additions, subtractions, and all the numbers negative, essentially. Okay, what about this one? -1 times 2x plus 3y plus 5. What's going to happen there? The negative hits the 2x, it becomes -2x. The negative hits the 3y, it becomes -3y. The negative hits the plus 5, it becomes -5. Questions on that one? We just have one more term here. Okay, what if I had -1 times 2x minus 3y minus 4? Yeah.
It would be -2x.
Right, this one is still the same, right? So -2x
Plus 3y
plus 3y
and plus 4.
plus 4. So the -1 made the minuses into pluses. What if I had this one? -1 times -x plus y minus z. What did I get there?
X minus y plus z.
X minus y plus z. We're just switching all the signs, right? The x had a negative, now it's a positive. The y was a positive, now it's a negative. The z was a negative, now it's a positive. Switch them up. Anyone want to take a picture of that? Go for it. Alright. So, why are we going to do this? When are we going to do it? Well, we're actually going to be doing it with entire equations. So let's say I have this equation, 2x minus 3y equals 7. Well, maybe for some reason, I want to multiply both sides of my equation times -1. Am I allowed to do that? Am I changing the equation if I multiply both sides times negative 1?
No.
No, I can multiply both sides of an equation times anything, right? So I'm multiplying both sides by negative 1. Cool. What do I get over here when I multiply this side times negative 1?
You get 3y plus 2. Well, you get negative 2x plus 3y.
Negative 2x plus 3y. What do I get over here?
You get negative 7.
Negative 7.
And then you go from there.
So I'm just switching all the signs, right? What if I had this equation? 4x plus 5y equals negative 8. Let's say I wanted to multiply both sides times negative 1. What would I get? Negative 1 times 4x is
Negative 4x
negative 4x
minus 5y.
minus 5y. Negative 8 times negative 1 is
8.
positive 8, right? We could, I mean, we don't write positive, but we could say positive 8. So I switch all of my signs when I multiply by negative 1. Okay. Questions about that? Skill of multiplying by negative 1. So, let's take a look at a different sort of system of equations. It's not going to be that different, but it's a little different. So, oh, that marker does not work. So I have something like this. 2x minus 3y equals. And then maybe I have 2x again. Maybe I have plus 3y. And maybe I have something like 32. Oh. Never mind. That was a bad example, I'm sorry. We're going to do this. 2x, let's just do plus y equals 5, and then 2x plus 3y equals 7. Okay, what do you notice about this one? The last one was not a good example. Well, we have the same coefficients here. 2x and 2x. But if I add those together, will anything drop out? Will anything here just drop out when I add those together?
No.
No. So adding them together right now is not going to help me. What could I do to make it so that something drops out?
Multiply times negative.
Yeah. I could take one of my equations and just multiply it times negative 1 on both sides. I'm going to choose this one just because it has a smaller number here. And I want my negative numbers to be smaller. So I'm going to multiply this times negative 1. If I do that, I have to multiply both sides times negative 1. Otherwise, I'm changing the line. I'm changing the equation. All right. I'm going to rewrite this down here beneath this one that I didn't change. What is negative 1 times 2x plus y? What would that give me?
Negative 2x minus y.
Negative 2x minus y. Before we go any further, this is great. Here's my first equation and here's my second equation, or really, here's my second and here's the first equation that I changed. Look at this. 2x and minus 2x. What's going to happen?
It drops out.
yeah, those x's are going to drop out. So this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. What is 5 times negative 1?
5 times negative 5.
Negative 5. So now, after that one step, I am now ready to add these two equations together just like we practiced yesterday. So I'm going to add these together. 2x plus 3y equals 7. Negative 2x minus y equals negative 5. If you want, what's kind of helpful to do with these is let's cross out this equation that we changed. I'm not going to worry about that anymore. I turned it into this. So what happens if I add this equation and this equation together? What do I get? The 2x and the minus 2x cancel out. There's no x's left. Awesome. The 3y and the minus y gives me what?
2y.
2y. And the 7 and the minus 5 gives me what?
2.
How would I solve 2y equals 2?
Divide by 2. and
Divide
y
by
equals
2. So, markers. Y equals 1. Okay, am I done?
No.
No.
You need to figure out what-
Now I need to figure out x. I'm going to take this and plug it into, let's choose this equation right here. It doesn't matter. I could even choose this first equation. I could choose the one that I changed. I can plug it into any of those equations to find x. Let's plug it into this one. It just seems simple right now. It's right there. So if y equals 1, what do I get when I plug y into this equation? What would that give me? I'll write it down here. 2x. Is that going to change when I plug y in? No. So I just have 2x. Plus 3y. Is that going to change when I plug y in?
Just gonna be 3.
It's going to be 3, right? Because 3y means 3 times y. 3 times 1 is 3. Equals, is the 7 going to change at all? Just by plugging in the y?
Nope.
No. It's not. So I have 2x plus 3 equals 7. Now I can solve this for x. How would you solve that for x? What would you do here?
Subtract 3 from both sides, which will give you 2x equals 4. Divide by 2, x equals 2.
X equals 2, and I could write my answer as 2 comma 1. All of this we did yesterday, right? The only new step today is just multiplying something by negative 1. Could I have multiplied this equation by negative 1 on both sides?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could have. It doesn't matter. You can choose whichever equation you want to multiply by negative 1. I just have to get it so that something lines up and cancels. All right. Let's do a problem from your homework. This one is on your homework, so if you take good notes, write it down. When you get there, you can just write the answer.
Which problem is it going to be?
You'll have to pay very close attention. All right. So what do we notice here? Can we add these together and have something drop out?
Yes. No.
What? No. Yeah. No. Not yet. But what could I do?
You could
How could I make
subtract
it?
2 from 3. Wait. Would we do what we normally do?
Well, I could, right? I would get x plus 8x equals 26. What's wrong with that? Why don't
There's
I
two
want to
X's.
do that?
No, there would be 8y, not 8x. It would be x.
Did I say x? Sorry, x plus 8y, right? What's wrong with that? Why don't I want to do that?
Because you only want to have one exponent. Or I mean, the variable.
Yeah, I want one of the variables to drop out. So how could I make one of my
Subtract 4
variables?
from the, because that'll be.
What did we do as a first step in the last problem? What did we do as our first step? What have we been practicing? What's our new skill today?
Be switching the negative.
Yeah.
Oh, the parentheses stuff.
Multiplying by -1. So I'm going to probably choose one of these equations to multiply by -1. And in this case, in this example, I would choose the second equation
To make it a positive.
because it'll make this into a positive. So I'll have fewer negatives. It doesn't matter though, you could do the first equation. But I'm looking at these, I'm going, well, if I multiply this by -1, everything will be negative. That's a lot of negatives. If I multiply this one by -1, I'll have a positive, this will drop out, and then this will be negative. So that seems a little better to me. If I multiply this times -1 on both sides, what do I end up with? -1 times -2x is positive 2x. -1 times positive 4y is
Negative 4y.
negative 4y. And 8 times -1 is
Negative 8.
negative 8. So I'm going to cross this out. And now, because I don't have the equations right next to each other, I'm just going to rewrite this equation down here. I'm not changing anything, I'm just simply writing it next to this other equation. Now, I can add those equations to eliminate y.
You could get.
Remember, this is called the elimination method. So now I can add these together to get rid of y. And what do I get? I heard you saying it. 5x minus 4y and plus 4y. Those get eliminated. And then I have -8 plus 18. What's -8 plus 18?
10.
10. 5x equals 10. How would I solve for x?
Divide by 5x equals 2.
Divided by 5, x equals 2.
I can't believe I used to not understand.
Now I need to find y. I would plug it into probably this equation because it has no negatives at all. Seems easier to me. But you could plug it into this equation or even to this equation here. Let's plug it into this top one. So if x equals 2, and I plug that into this equation,
You could get
what will I get here?
2 plus 4, 3 in parentheses, or 3 in parentheses 2.
Nice. I love how you said that. What does this mean, 3 in parentheses 2? What does that mean?
3 times 2.
3 times 2. Okay, what else?
Plus 4y equals 18.
So I plugged in x. Now I only have y. I can solve for y. What is 3 times 2?
6.
6 plus 4y equals 18.
Subtract 6 from both sides.
Subtract 6.
4y equals 18 minus 6 is 12.
Okay, divide by 4.
Y equals 3.
Y equals 3. I could write my answer as 2. Questions on that one?
Nope.
If you want to take a picture, go ahead. I'm going to stop the video.